are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and across the screen from me is my brown brother.
Sid Sriram, what it do, everybody? How you all doing? What you doing, Timothy?
What am I doing? What is Timothy doing? Uh, Timothy is doing well.
Okay,
He's been making strides in his life.
that's good.
And yeah, it's not just the weight loss. I'm combating my anxiety disorder pretty
Good.
strongly. Uh, and I'm going in January. I am embarking on um, a new part of my life, I guess.
Nice.
I'm gonna be living in a Christian commune.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I myself started just a little bit, when I had a little downtime today during work. I just kind of kind of researched a little bit of like apartments for myself because I do plan to move out as well in 2024. For those who don't know,
Yeah,
this is my parents' house. Okay, I do live with parents, so
we're gonna say this. Here's what we're gonna say.
okay.
No, we are not basement dweller wrestling fans. I have moved out of my parents' house 2 times in my lifetime, and Sid has moved
I
out
have,
of his
yes.
parents' house before.
Yeah.
So don't don't be like, oh, these are neckbearded basement dwellers.
Hey,
No, okay.
listen. The only person that they can call a neckbeard out of the two of us is me. Even me, my beard
But
doesn't
you
even go down
actually
to my
have a
neck.
beard.
Yeah, but like I don't have.
Neckbeards are those goons who like can't grow hair and they try and it looks like shit.
Yeah, that's yeah. I've seen that. I like
You
peach
look like a
fuzz.
middle-aged Indian man.
A middle-aged Indian man. Thanks. I appreciate it. God damn it. It's bad
What?
enough that I had kids calling me uncle, so it's all good.
Kids call you uncle?
In India, it's like a term of endearment. Like when we look at older men and women, we'll call them like uncle and auntie because it's like instead of just saying ma'am or sir, it's like it's like a family.
Yeah.
We're like
Yeah.
like we say brother, like we say brother or sister or sis. Same thing, uncle,
Yeah.
auntie, like that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who say "unk," like
Yeah.
when referring to an older gentleman that may not be their blood.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty.
all right, man. It's where
Yeah.
we are in our lives.
Yeah. It is
I
what it
seen
is.
I seen a meme today that says, let me get it up here. It said, thought about how Bowling for Soup released 1985 and 2004. So if they did a version today, it would be called 2004. And now I'm going to be sick.
That's funny. That's funny.
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I feel like for me, when it comes to moving out, though, I don't know about you, but like I feel like when I did move out, I don't think I was mentally like ready to do it.
No, the first
Like,
time
yeah,
for me was awful.
I was very like I would say I was pretty immature about it, about when I moved out and stuff because like I just kind of moved out and I was like so, you
Excuse
know,
me.
like dragged in by the allure of living alone that I forgot why I was there in the first place, and I kind of lost the plot a little bit. So I kind
Mm,
of just, you know, so I kind of just, honestly, I just kind of fucked around, and I ended up having to move back to my parents' house, and I've been living here ever since. But I feel like there's some semblance of stability now in my life, and I think I'm ready to try this again. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, like, before this opportunity came to me, it came to me on 2 Sundays ago. And I remember the middle of that week, I was messaging you or I called you, and I told
mm,
you how, like, the night before I had been looking at, like, places I could live on my own. And then by the end of that week, I had this opportunity arise. Um, but
nice.
yeah, and plus it's not nothing to feel bad about, like,
No,
when
no,
people do live with their parents because
no.
the economy sucks and, like, shit's different now.
Yeah,
Like, our parents bought houses whenever people could actually afford them.
yeah. I think I saw like a thing back in the like. There's one comedian I like. I think you may have seen him, but his name was like Scott Cease or Scott Sice or whatever. He does like these like memes about retail and shit. But like one of the memes was like he pretends to be like an older lady saying you should move out and find a job, and he's like, "Did you know the price of the price of your freaking a house back then couldn't even buy a Starbucks coffee these days or something like that." Like, it was exaggerating, but you know,
Right.
think about it. You can't even pay $1 for for a cup of coffee these days. I mean,
Oh,
it's crazy.
how much you eat candy from now and then, right? How much is a
Candy,
Snickers?
like the cheapest Snickers I've ever had was like maybe $1.29.
No, I'm talking about today, market price. How much is a Snickers?
Oh, it's like $2 and some change.
It's only $2 and some change?
Yeah, but still,
Dude, I thought them
it's a.
bitches were up to like 4 or 5.
I mean, well, I mean, yeah, if you go to like a gas station, it's weird because
Right.
gas station snacks are like way more expensive than when you go to like the department store. It's the weirdest thing in the world, but whatever.
It's the price of convenience.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of
But
convenience,
so no, that has nothing to do. This was not convenient for either of
yeah,
us.
yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
saying. Speaking of
um,
convenience or lack thereof,
right. So uh there so I'm just gonna say this. Whoever clicked on this video saw already that this episode is covering Stardom and Pro Wrestling Revolver. And you may ask, well, that's a nice change of pace. Why? Okay. So
here's
when
why.
John was here, I was able to do Inside the Indies. And Inside the Indies did pretty decently. And I even had an idea for a Puro slash Joshi show called Strong Stylings. And we just didn't have the time for it. And Armbar Audio's philosophy, ever since we started it, before it was called Armbar Audio, when it was called the Omega Cast, was to not talk about just wrestling that everybody else talks about. It was also to broaden people's horizons and to just really um, like not so mainstream. And last week I put up a poll on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, X Twitter X. Like,
Twix.
if you're hardcore, if you're like in a hardcore band, X Twitter X.
You can call
Um,
it like you can call it
but,
Twix. You call it Twix because
yes, Skittles, Twix, shit like that.
shit like that. Yeah.
Uh, but anyways, and I put three options. What are you most interested in? And it said Puro outside of New Japan, Joshi, or American Indies. And American Indies and Joshi were neck and neck. Puro outside of New Japan was pretty low. So we are I'll give
Yeah.
you guys the schedule at the end of this show, but that's why we're covering Stardom and PW Revolver. And yes, I know this past weekend there were two GCW shows and there's a bunch of independents, but the reason I decided to go with PW Revolver is because I feel if I'm going to watch a GCW show on Saturday, I'm going to want to watch Sunday and I'm going to have to cover both and I don't want to do all that. But so yeah,
And
and
also because I have a life. I'm just
right,
kidding.
right.
I feel bad saying that, but no. We have shit to do, both of us. So
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna grow, if we're gonna work on growth, I can't spend 16 hours or whatever watching wrestling on my weekend where I'm
hmm
off and I could work on myself. But yeah, so originally Sid was going to cover Stardom by himself and I was going to cover Revolver. Luckily, we had the time to both watch both shows, but Sid will be leading on Stardom and I will be leading on Revolver.
I know.
And we are going to get into Stardom, Big Winter in Nagoya, the final show leading up to the big
Big
when
winter.
is the big show? The
Well,
pay-per-view. Well, no, I know I sent it to you like a couple of weeks ago, and I said we're definitely covering this or something. Um, fuck, I suck so bad.
is it Wonder World Ring? Is that the name of the next
World
show?
Wonder Ring Stardom is
World
their.
Wonder Ring.
It's
Sorry.
not. That's what their promotion's called. Sid. The next one is a Queendom show, but I don't know which one. But it's like in January, I think, or December 31st.
All Star Grand Queendom. No, that one's on April. That one was in April. That's gonna be in. That's gonna be next year, right? That's gonna be in 2024,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I think, or the end of this month. It's one or the other. Uh, God, we suck right now. Who gives a shit? You ever listen to podcasts? Podcasts, they bullshit all the time. Like, I
They
don't
do.
feel like I need to.
Like I think more. I think we have more podcasts that bullshit more than us. Like I've seen
Yeah.
podcasts where like literally. And I already said this one, but they'll talk about wrestling, but then like they'll talk about the match for like a minute, and then it'll just be 5 minutes of bullshitting. And I'm like, dude, talk about the fucking match. I don't want to. I don't care whether you like pancakes or waffles better. Okay.
Well, what do you like? Pancakes or waffles?
I can't decide. It
That's why you don't care.
Yeah. Oh, there's one happening on the 29th. Uh Stardom Dream Queendom. It's
There,
happening
yeah, that
December
that's it.
29th. So like after
Yeah,
Christmas.
that's the big show. Yeah, that's the next. That's like the big show at the end of the year.
Okay.
So this is the last big show leading up to that. And
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna be honest here. When it comes to me in Stardom, I would try to catch the big shows. I read about it, and I watched some of the tournaments. I in the past couple of years, I've kind of fallen off. Like there's a lot of names that I watched for the first time this go around. But Sid, you have an even less storied past with Stardom, right?
Yeah, cuz like I think just like last time when we covered DDT, like I said, I have watched Stardom matches. I've just never watched a full show. Um
Oh, I remember that you watched Stardom matches because you told me that you like to put them on, mute them, and play anime fight songs.
yeah, I didn't do it this time, but yes, that would actually I forgot.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm gonna do it next time. Maybe we'll see.
yeah. I mean, if there's no English commentary, why not?
True. Yeah, all of it was in. Yeah, all the commentary was definitely in Japanese, and I mean, that's the one thing that I wish that Stardom did was like provide some English commentary, but you know, it is
It's
what it
really
is.
weird to me because for the longest time they didn't have commentary at all. And they're the biggest Joshi promotion. And they're in Bushi Road, the same with New Japan, you know what I mean? And we see how New Japan is treated. But, you know, I don't get it. I mean, even the people who even Cyberfight get English commentary for Noah, DDT, and maybe Tokyo Joshi Pro, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So before we get into the show, I want to ask you, uh, as a as your first full Stardom show, how did this fare?
I thought it was pretty good. I definitely,
Like, you don't have to
you
give
know,
me your grade yet or
no,
anything.
no,
Just be
no.
like,
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was absolutely something different. Um, so I mean, and it had. I don't want to say okay. I would say it had a lot of variety. So it had your kind of like more striking matches. It had some of your high flying stuff. It had your technical wrestling, and it really showed that like just because it's weird because in Western promotions, I do feel like women are treated like differently than men. In a lot of our promotions, whether it is AEW or Ring of Honor or WWE or whatever. But here, this is a promotion just for women. So now it's like you don't have a choice. It's like you have to, kind of watch us. And it's kind of good because it lets the ladies like shine because now there's no like because apparently according to wrestling, the guys matches are more important than the women's matches, in traditional wrestling from what I've seen. But
saying
you know,
kind of brings to mind, like, for the longest time in Western pro wrestling, and even we see it even now, when it comes to women's wrestling and storylines, a lot of them are similar. A lot of them uh, have been similar for decades. And when you go and watch a Joshi show, like you said, there's no men. So like they're able to do the male storylines. They're able to do the storylines that Western um, women's wrestling may not have the chance to
yeah.
do.
Like to be honest, the only memorable wrestling story for women right now, in my opinion, that's going on is like everything going on with Athena and her whole like minions in
And
training
Billy,
and Billy.
yeah.
That's like the one good story. And Tony, well, okay, and Tony Storm to be fair, the whole timeless Tony Storm, which
And
is
I
great,
can't
but you know,
I can't be honest about WWE. Like I know that they have new members of Damage Control, and I know that Damage Control loses again, and Rhea Ripley rolls and all that. But like I don't know about the storylines over there.
I mean, from what
But I mean,
yeah, it again, but see, that's the thing. Even within WWE, like there's not they kind of just it's the more tried and tested tropes over and over again, at least for the women. you know I mean, think about it. In WWE, the last uh very like memorable uh story that I can think of for the women's division was honestly when Mickey James was a freaking was a stan for Trish Stratus.
oh
That's
wow, you go all that way back there. I would say the man thing with Becky and overcoming
Oh yeah,
Charlotte
the
and
man
Ronda
was.
was pretty big.
It was. I guess, yeah.
Asuka's undefeated streak in NXT and her vacating the title. But I mean, like, they had opportunities to do a lot,
Yeah.
especially with the four horsewomen that I feel like they didn't cash in on.
Yep.
Um,
They.
and like the rise of Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley was good, but like, what was memorable aside
Right.
from them rising? Like, I
Yeah, they
don't.
had. Did they even like the decent? They had good matches, like the match that not Rhea, Bianca had with Sasha or Mercedes. That was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
But again, that was like one match. Um,
but the stories, like,
yeah,
there was nothing. Yeah,
all right. And I mean, I guess Bailey and Sasha slash Mercedes, like they finally did the feud, but it was almost like, all right, fine, y'all want the feud, here, take it, you know,
right,
and they just kind of like ended it at the next pay per view. So it's like, okay, fine,
right.
that's how much you give a shit about your women, um, you know, because now you want to bring freaking toxic CM Punk back into your company. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although I gotta say, one good thing that came out of him coming back, I have a lot more respect for Seth Rollins now because the man's speaking facts about the guy, and like he's
Apparently, Drew McIntyre is too.
that's good. It's good. So maybe so perhaps Drew Galloway and Tyler Black will be all elite next year. No, it's not gonna happen. Maybe Drew, but Seth, he's a company guy. He's gonna stay there until he's dead. So,
Right. But
but
back
then
to women's
again,
wrestling.
yeah,
The other good storyline I feel, Impact has done good storylines.
yeah,
The Age of the Virtuosa, and now with Jordan Grace and
hmm
how she fought the odds and won the gauntlet match, and then even and like won the respect of Bully Ray, and is going into Hard to Kill to face Trinity. Like that's good too. But I think honestly, I think in modern Western wrestling with
it's
women, the
limited.
best, the biggest and best storyline is what you said, Trish and Mickey. Like that was like I don't think as good as the man stuff was. Like I think Mickey and Trish, like it was more thought out. It was a longer type of thing. Becky just happened to have broken her nose. Like
Yeah,
that was like pure perfect like
that was like yeah,
happens.
it was yeah.
Eh, But like the Trish and Mickey thing was really good. And the funny thing is that in the past month I've actually watched it because
Oh
at
really?
work my clients love WWE. Sometimes my one client will be like, "Put on the women's wrestling." And I'll either put on Tokyo Joshi Pro or Stardom. And sometimes I'll put on Ring of Honor for him. But like he loves watching WWE, and my one client loves John Cena. So I've been watching Raws chronologically from like the early to mid 2000s for the past few months,
Oh
and
okay,
that
wow.
whole Mickey James Trish Stratus storyline was fucking great. But Stardom,
Yeah,
Big Winter.
what's
Let's
up?
get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So we had 8 matches in total, right? Let me make sure I got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 matches in total. Um, a few title matches as well. Um, so let's kind of get into it. Yes, like you said. So the match that kicked us off was Ruaka versus Mai Sakurai. And here's the thing: I've written like paragraphs of what I felt about the matches. So I mean, there was like it was definitely like Ruaka had a very aggressive start. However, Sakurai pretty much had an answer to all of her moves, and finally, Sakurai did overcome the odds. She did pick up the win via roll up, but and Ruaka was pretty pissed off. Like my Sakurai, by the way, her entrance, she came in like throwing out dollar bills or I guess yen because they're in Japan, and like Ruaka was so pissed off she like started ripping him up.
She was stripping.
It was
Uh-huh.
funny as hell. I think it was a fun match. It was a short match. It was a good opener, a way to kind of like whet the appetite a little bit. So I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. So Tim, what'd you think?
I agree with your sentiments. Ruaka seems to have lost a bit of weight, like noticeably, because I remember her being a little bit more more filled out, I guess if that's the political correct way of saying it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so we don't get
it was
canceled.
it was a good undercard match.
Yeah, yeah. There's not really much to say. Like it was fine. You know.
Right.
So moving on, we had our first of I think our first tag match, right? Yeah, we had a couple of tag matches on here. Excuse me. Our first tag match on the undercard. We had Wingori, which is Hanan and Saya Ida versus the Cosmic Angels, Yuna Mizumori and Saori Anu. I'm trying to get the names right.
Now, like I said, I haven't been watching Stardom the 2 years as intently as I used to. Apparently, Anao is quite good. I had heard going into this. I remembered Ida and Hanan. Hanan, Rina, and Hina are all sisters, and Hanan's the eldest. And she's finally like she looks she's starting to look like a woman because like in Japanese wrestling, like these chicks start off really, really young. Like uh Bazumi, who fought Julia on this show, I think she started wrestling for Stardom when she was 16 or 17, which is outrageous. But yeah, and Saya Ida and Hanan of Wingori are the new blood tag team champions. That's a whole new thing to me. I have never seen a new blood show, but that's like a supplemental thing for Stardom. And I had heard that this has been a tumultuous year for Stardom with injuries and all kinds of things. And who was Anau's tag partner?
Yuna Mizumori.
I heard she had been showing out a lot this year throughout the ups and downs. And I was I was impressed by all four competitors in this match.
Yeah, I wrote that this match felt like a war between the two factions, two teams. I loved the part where Ida just lit Mizumori up with endless chops. Like you see, like what Eddie Kingston does when he gets you on the rope and just chops the shit out of you. She, I feel, took that to like times five, and I didn't know when she was gonna stop. And also, like Ida's like she's like the Japanese Jordan Grace almost because she's like super muscular and everything. And I loved that was awesome.
He's
And
the
just
female Tomohiro Ishii.
Tomohiro Ishii, never mind. Okay, and then Hanan and Anu, I wrote took pretty much took each other to Suplex City. Because they both kind of suplexed the shit out of each other. There was a lot of like you said, all four women showed out. A lot of fast paced action between these women, but the match did finally end when Saudi Anu she actually picked up the win by hitting like her finisher on Hanan, which is it was like a ripcord front flip slam kind of move. I don't know what to call it, but like she kind of did the ripcord thing where she pulled her in and she like did like a flip in the air and pinned her to the ground, and then 1 2 3 the Cosmic Angels win a really good match. I don't have anything else to say, but it was good. I mean, honestly, I kind of wish this match started it out. I think that would have gotten the crowd a little bit more hype, but it's all good.
Right. Right. I when I saw Saida when she was first like being shown on Stardom before this new blood stuff happened, and how she's like the rookie of the Stars unit, her and
Yeah.
Hanan. She was she was kind of featured as a powerhouse, and when I was watching this match, uh, um, her transition from powerhouse singles wrestler to tag team specialist stood out to me. Um, like her and Hanan were hitting some good tandem offense. Um, I wasn't surprised at the winning because I heard that, like, I heard a lot of good things about Sayori.
Yeah.
So,
And
um, but yeah, I liked, I think that when you look at the two matches that we talked about, I'd say that this was like much better than the
yeah.
first match.
And this is just the undercard, by the way. And also, speaking of Saudi Anu, like this would not be the last we'd see of her tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later. Um, so now we kind of get into some of the to our first title match of the night. This was Thelka of Donna Del Mondo versus
Tekla.
oh Thekla. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
of Donna
No,
Del
no,
Mondo.
that's how it's written, but it's her name is Tekla.
Oh, Tekla, okay. Of Donna Del Mondo versus May Sarah for the high speed championship. Tekla is the high speed champion as of now. And
No, no, no,
no, I'm
no.
sorry, Sarah was. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I actually wrote that in my notes. No, anyway, and this match definitely lives up to the name of this championship because it was very high speed. It was very high speed. I loved the part where Thekla took like a water break in the ring. She like was drinking. Well, mine's done, but she was drinking water. The ref was looking somewhere else. Sarah was looking there, and she like threw the water bottle at Sarah's leg and injuring her leg. Uh, then Sarah then finally hits a huge kick. I wrote Sarah hits a huge kick in the air and rolls up Tekla for the pin to retain her high speed championship.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sid. That's probably what I would have wrote too, because I've seen other high speed title matches, like Natsupoi was in that division, Starlight Kid or SLK as Stardom fans call her, and Azumi. And they're always awesome, but like I can't tell you what happened at all
Yeah,
because it's just their their cardio is outrageous. Um Tekla got the right to challenge for this match by having Donna Del Mondo win the Gold Rush tournament, and she called out May Sierra, right? That's her
yeah,
name.
May Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lady that I had not seen before until this show, and I was impressed because I have seen Tekla, and I expected Tekla to win just because uh I'm so used to seeing Donna Del Mondo dominate. Um and
But I guess
but
this made
she
a
came
change
up
of
short.
pace. Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of made it a bit of a good change of pace because Donna Del Mondo, from what I understand, is like the top faction in Stardom, and it's every so often if they eat a loss, it doesn't really affect them as badly. So moving on, up next was a 6-woman tag match. We had God's Eye, which is Mirai, Sayuri, and Amy Sore versus
Amy.
Amy Sore versus Oedo Tai, which is Starlight Kid, the aforementioned Starlight Kid, Natsuko Tara, and Momo Watanabe. Um, Tara, Starlight Kid, and Watanabe pretty much attacked God's Eye before the bell rang. Uh, it says Mimi, but it's Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid show off some tremendous athleticism at the expense of Sayori, who plays the baby face in peril for the beginning of the match. Sore lit up Tara with some chops, but Tara also showed a lot of athleticism as well. But Tara, then the match finally ended with Tara hitting basically a shooting star press onto Sore and pinning her to win the match for Oedo Tai. So
Natsuko Tora
yeah, Natsuko
and
Tora.
Shiri.
No, Amy Sore.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Sore, Siri. I know. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was good. I liked it.
This this was the first match that really grabbed me. Um I liked um in the beginning, I think it was um Starlight Kid and Momo and Siri and Mirai's interactions. I liked those a lot.
Yep.
Um Natsuko Tora, I have had a very back and forth relationship with, and
Oh, when'd you date her?
I feel like I feel I feel like a lot of Stardom fans do as well, because every time she starts to get momentum, she gets injured or something. Um, I feel like this match, I've heard a lot of good things about Mirai, and it's no wonder why she's the Wonder of Stardom champion,
Yeah.
which is the secondary title. Um, but you know, when it comes to Stardom's roster, I think Siri is number one, and I think that Starlight Kid is in the top probably six. And Starlight Kid is Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Suzu Suzuki are so young and so good right now. It will be fun to watch this promotion as they grow and get older,
Mm-hmm.
because but yeah, I was really into this match. I didn't take notes because you were leading on this. So um yeah, this was the match that got me into this show. At first it was I was watching and I was kind of like
Mm.
fucking around on my phone and stuff, but like this match was the first one that really grabbed me.
For me, it was the previous match, the high speed title match. That's what
Mhm.
it did for me. So, all right. So with that, let's move on.
And then
Okay.
after the match, Sayori Anao came out and challenged Mirai for the Wonder of Stardom Championship at the Queendom show.
Yep. And now we move on to an interesting match. We have the Scandinavian Hurricane versus co-founder of Stardom, Nane Takahashi, in a UWF rules match. Now, I actually literally found the rules because they displayed the rules, but it was all in Japanese. So I went to on Google and found the rules for the UWF match, and I'll just read it out. So UWF rules are: fights may end via knockout, 10 count, TKO, which is referee stoppage, submission, or by points. There are no pinfalls, no disqualification, no countouts, and no time limits. Basically, sounds very much like a pure match. Sounds a lot like
Yeah,
it, with some differences.
UWF was a one of the first pro wrestling imitating MMA uh promotions back in the 90s, I believe. Or yeah. And I didn't know the exact rules either. I do know that Shibata's first match after he had been injured. He came back at a Wrestle Kingdom, and his first two matches, one was against Narita and one was against Zack Sabre Jr., and they were both UWF rules. Um, I was reading some things, and you know, a lot of people have differing opinions. Um, and some people didn't like this, and some people don't think Stardom should keep doing these matches because the last show, I think the Gold Rush show or something, it was Siri against the Scandinavian Hurricane, who is a former WXW Women's Champion. Um, but I fucking really like this match. I
It was
really
good.
like this match.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Scandinavian Hurricane had a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And it was like her striking against Nanai Takahashi's like ground game, and then out of nowhere, Takahashi hit two back elbows to the
Yeah.
skull.
I legitimately wrote Takahashi hit basically the Judas effect and won via ref stoppage.
Like twice in a row.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of, like you said, a lot of mat. There was a lot of mat wrestling, like you said, so a lot of ground and pound and striking. Um, Kind of wish Scandinavian Hurricane won this just because from what I read on 411 Mania, Takahashi rarely loses in a lot of the matches. I guess that's perks of being one of the founders of your wrestling company. I don't know, but I mean,
Well, she also like left. She like stopped wrestling for a long time and came back to Stardom, I
oh,
think
okay,
last year or the year before.
okay,
So,
all
you
right,
know,
well, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it could have been interesting, but it is what it is. I think Scandinavian Hurricane put on a good show. Takahashi, lady's 44 years old and she can still kick your ass, and that's amazing. Okay. Anyway, I will be honest. I didn't like this match nearly as much as you did, Tim. But it was a good
it's
match.
okay.
It's a good match, but
Apparently these matches have been very polarizing for the Stardom fan base. So,
yeah. I mean, like, no, I like pure matches, and this was very much like a pure match. But I don't know, just you know, I think there are some things that could have been a little bit better. But hey, it is what it is. Um, Moving on to another championship title match. This one also I really enjoyed. It was Julia versus the aforementioned AZM. No, I'm kidding. Azumi. That was just to piss off some of you Joshi marks. Or just Puro marks. Yeah, we know this one individual on Twitter. They are a huge fan of Japanese wrestling, and they went on this rant when someone pronounced Azumi as AZM, and I was like, dude, just chill out. It's not a big deal. Okay?
seriously.
Yeah. Like shit, you still call Adam Copeland Edge. So, you know.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a while.
True. Like dude, when last year when I went to I have to say this and I'll get back to the match. When I went to Final Battle last year, the dude sitting next to me when Claudio versus Jericho was going on, the dude kept on saying, "Let's go Cesaro." I didn't get pissed. I wasn't like, "Oh man, it's not Cesaro, it's Claudio." No, I was like, "Okay, cool. He's enjoying the match." Okay, so it's not a
at
big
least he
deal.
knows who he's watching,
Yeah, it's not a big
right?
fucking deal. Okay, fine. They got her name wrong. They said AZM instead of Azumi. It's not a big deal. She's not gonna come after that person because they spelled her name wrong. But it is Azumi. Okay. Anyway,
You're right.
uh, this was
And this was for the New Japan Strong
yeah
Women's
the Strong
Championship.
Women's Championship. Correct. There was a handshake between the two women, but immediately they just went at each other, and it was just like a sequence of covers just to start the match off hot. That was awesome. That was like
Mm.
one of the best parts of this match, and I wrote these two women went to war. Julia being almost like a final boss at this point, and and Azumi putting up one hell of a fight though. But Julia did hit a huge power slam to finally pin Azumi and retain her title. Um, I have this is not my
And they,
first watch. This is not my first match watching of Julia. I have watched other matches and they've been good, but I'm gonna be honest. I think this was a totally different Julia than what I saw previously, and it's no wonder a lot of Western companies are trying to sign this young woman
yeah.
and
Uh,
Azumi apparently because she wants to go to
if you were
America.
if you were gonna say that this was the best thing you've seen from Julia, I would say go and watch her rivalry with Tam Nakano and her matches against Siri. And I think whoever led Prominence, I forget. Fuck, because I watch it so sporadically that it's hard for me to remember.
Yeah,
But
there's so many factions too in Stardom.
this match was my first like, oh shit, this is really fucking good. Like
It's
I
so good.
like the work that they did on the apron and in the ropes. Like there, I think it was towards the end where Azumi kind of like turned the tables on Julia in the ropes and on the apron, and then like hit a short um Hurricane Rana through the ropes, and then followed up with a DDT, and then she did the double stomp off the top, and then did like a double stomp leg drop, and then uh she would hit like her finisher and then do a roll up and then the roll up into the roll up, and then Julia would hit her big power move, and Azumi would kick out, and like there was a point where Julia was just like, "Fuck this, I'm done," and that's when she did it again, and it was over. And I think people were kind of on the edge of their seats here because, like you had mentioned, Azumi wants to break into the West, and Julia, there's been rumors
Yeah, of
for the past month and a half to 2 months of where is Julia going to go whenever her contract expires and all of that. And yeah, this match fucking rolled.
yeah. I've dude, this was good. Good shit for sure. I mean, wherever these two women go, like please invest. Whoever wherever there they go, please to the Western promoters, please freaking invest in these ladies. It's just fucking worth it. Anyway,
Right.
up next was another tag match. This was for the Goddess of Stardom championships. I think those,
Now,
yeah,
there was like I said, there has been a lot of injuries, especially in the past like 2 months. And Tam Nakano, who is the who was the uh I forget what the World of Stardom champion and co-holder of the goddess
Stardom, Goddess of Stardom.
of Stardom with Natsupoi. They took the titles off of her because of injury, and Poi is injured as well. So you had um, a woman who I know from Beyond Wrestling who has broken into Stardom this year, Megan Bain,
Yeah,
with
and
another
Micah
powerhouse in Micah.
versus.
They're
Okay, I'm
called
gonna say this one because
something Empire.
Divine Kingdom.
They're called Divine Kingdom, right?
Yeah, versus Aphrodite, and the E is like a capital E because they're cool. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Queen's Quest members.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to say. Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamitani.
Yes.
Yeah, I am
Well,
sorry.
Tommy's last
I'm
name
so
is
sorry.
always hard for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Hayashishita.
Hayashishita. Sorry, but it's weird. Like, okay, look, if we can say Arnold Schwarzenegger, we can say this. Okay, at least. Anyway, But whatever.
Tekla is from the same country as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay. Well then, all right.
Just saying. Just
Yeah,
saying.
just saying. Totally not trying to make you look like an idiot. Anyway, um, moving. I'm just messing
No,
around.
because when I
I
seen
know,
her
I
for the
know. I'm
first
just
time in
messing with you.
Stardom, I was like, yo, this is a white chick, and I never seen her before. Why haven't I seen her before? Oh, she's from fucking Austria.
Yeah. I mean, Megan Bain. Okay, I didn't really hear properly. Where's she from?
She's from America.
She's from
She
okay. She's
she
American.
wa- she was undefeated in Beyond Wrestling,
Oh,
and
okay.
then like she was nowhere for like a year, and then she showed up in Stardom.
Damn. Yeah, America. Anyways, this was another fast-paced match and a terrific performance by all four women. Micah and Bane did put up a really good performance, but finally, I wrote Kamitani pins Bane with a Northern Light suplex to win, and Aphrodite are the new Goddess of Stardom champions.
Yes, and this was a good move, in my opinion, because Micah has had a fantastic year, and letting her have just the tag championships, I think, would be a disservice. Uh, and we'll get into what I'm talking about in the next match. But I liked the power dynamic of Bane and Micah against two of Stardom's best in Utami and Saya. Saya was on a very good run as the Wonder of Stardom champion. Um, and she's more high flyer, and Utami is more of a powerhouse. And you know, uh,
Yeah,
if you're not familiar with Stardom, Utami and Suri have had fantastic matches. But this was a good match. Um, but I'd say out of the three matches of the end, like I'd put this at third, and I'd put the main event first. I
yeah,
was really, really into the main event.
yeah. And we're gonna get
Now,
to. Okay, go
Sid,
ahead.
I don't know if you know this, but Hazuki is also a comeback Stardom wrestler.
Okay.
She was in Stardom for a long time, and then either I think a year or two ago, she came back. She stopped wrestling and she came back. She used to be in Oedo Tai. Now she's part of Stars with Mayu Iwatani. She when she came back, she was pissed at Mayu because she was like, "You're letting all these new people and all of these guys and like run shit. Like, nah, we're
What the
we're
fuck?
we're
Yeah.
gonna yeah." And instead of fighting her, she was like, "Let me help you reestablish some fucking dominance
Dominance.
here."
Yeah.
But
Speaking of, but yeah,
oh,
so the match was Hazuki, as you mentioned, versus Suzuki for the World of Stardom Challenger Certificate. Now, let me ask you this, Timothy. This World of Stardom certificate, obviously, Suzuki had it
Suzuki,
in a briefcase. What is the difference between this one and like for example, like for Western audiences, the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Suzuki. This is more like the G1.
Okay.
This came out of Suzu beating. I think she defeated Micah in the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix. So you know how the winner of the G1 gets the trophy, but they also kind of on the way to Wrestle Kingdom defend the contract at least once,
Right. Yeah.
and they have it in a briefcase. This is exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't have to climb a ladder. There was no multi-person match. She won the tournament.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. But like now, like with for example, like the Money in the Bank contract, pretty much they have a year to cash that in for a potential title shot. What is
This
this?
is like Wrestle Kingdom as well.
So
She will be wrestling. She will be wrestling Micah at the Queendom show on the 29th for the vacant World of Stardom Championship.
okay, all right, makes sense. Um, dude,
If she wins this match,
dude, this match was fucking awesome. I loved it. I said that this match started off like it's a damn fight. It quickly spills to the outside. The strikes felt stiff, at least for me. Like I don't know, like the strikes felt like I heard it. The volume was like a lot louder when there was contact between face or between foot and face or whatever. Uh, like you could really feel the animosity between these two women because I believe, from what I understood, like Suzuki is like, why in the hell is she even challenging for this top for my briefcase? She doesn't deserve it, and so like Suzuki is pissed, and so like now Hazuki, of course, on the outside it was a cool spot where Hazuki spit some water on Suzuki's face. That was that was nice. I liked it, but finally, at the end of the day, despite Hazuki's efforts, Suzuki hit two Northern Lights suplexes to win the match and retain her
was it
certificate.
Northern Lights or was it a Germans?
I mean, she like did the suplex and she like had her in that pinning position. So that's Northern Lights, right?
Like a German with a bridge.
Yeah.
No, Northern Lights is oh fuck me. Oh, who
Okay,
cares?
some
I
two
don't
okay
know.
two suplexes and she freaking won the match. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, Suzuki has hit stardom with a fire. I watched some of her matches in the 5-star Grand Prix, and she's she's incredible for her age. Um, and she called out Micah at the end,
yep,
and I believe she was talking shit. Like, I don't think there was respect said.
yeah,
uh, but I think at the end of the Queendom show on the 29th, I think Micah's going to be the champion. I think Suzu is a little too young, and I think Micah deserves her her run. Micah, the original Donna Del Mondo of Julia, Siri, Micah, Himeka, and Natsupoi. Um, all of them have found success. Two of them have become World of Stardom champions. Siri was so good that they decided to break her off from there and give her her own faction. Micah and Himeka were always paired at the hip, and earlier this year, Himeka retired, and Micah was her retirement match. And I feel that Micah has everything one needs to be the champion here. Um, so Sid, couple of questions.
sure.
If you had to recommend 3 matches to watch off of this show, which matches would you recommend?
Definitely the main event. Suzuki versus Hazuki. Julia versus Azumi, and of course, the Thekla versus shit. I lost my notes. Uh, Thekla
Mace Sierra.
and May Sierra.
All right.
Those 3 matches.
I think I would go with the final 3 matches. On a what do you grade Stardom Big Winter in Nagoya?
Because I didn't think there was a single bad.
Now, hold on.
Okay,
Let me let me put a disclaimer up for all the Joshi fans or Stardom only fans who are going to listen to this. I
OnlyFans.
did say that Sid hasn't watched a lot of Stardom, and I
Yeah.
myself have been back and forth with the promotion. So
Thank
we're
you.
not completely up to date with everything, and we don't watch it religiously.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So there you go for all your gatekeepers. Um, I thought there was not a single. I know I say this a lot, but there's not a single bad match on this card. I think all the matches were good to great. Very fast paced show. It was a 3 hour show and it felt like 2.5 hours for me, at least. And let me give my rating and then I'll let you speak. And my rating is gonna be a solid A. All right, go ahead,
Okay.
Tim. What do you want to
I
share with the
was
class?
I was going to tell you beforehand that DDT Ultimate Party got an A and Full Gear got an A minus from you.
Yeah,
So does that affect your grade of this show?
not really, because I think that I kind of enjoyed this one as much as the DDT uh, show.
All right. I'm going to go with a B plus. I think some bigger names were obviously missing. Um, and maybe I would have enjoyed this more, or maybe I would have enjoyed this less if I knew more going in. Uh, B still stands for good. So, and a B
Yeah,
plus is almost
yeah, the entire
is a little bit better than that. Um, but I was definitely happy with watching this.
yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, just yeah, it's a good thing to say that so that the entire Joshi community doesn't like come at us with pitchforks, but
I don't
whatever.
know. Like I said, what I have read on Cage Match, because I don't just look at the ratings, I also read like comments.
Okay,
Uh, Stardom has had a string of not so favorable shows in the past few months.
really?
Um, yeah, and there's a lot of mixed reviews on this and the last couple of shows. So, like, I think it was good.
Yeah, I think more for me because I don't know as many of the big names like you do. I was just like, okay, this is really good. It's something different than what I'm used to, so that's why maybe I gave it a higher grade
Yeah,
than you did. So I mean, if we were to do a grade point average between the two of us, I guess this rounds up to an A minus. If you want to do like a the
it
average.
also affects the commentary also affects
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's true.
because I feel like I would have had a better opportunity at paying attention throughout
Yeah,
if I was hearing English commentary. Like,
same.
um, and also sometimes they go too fast.
They do.
Like I feel like they could if they slowed down a little bit, it would help them. And I know that somebody will be pissed off for me saying that. I don't care.
Whatever. Yeah.
Right.
It's
So,
it's it's late for us. We don't got time for this shit. So anyway.
so let's get into PW Revolver season finale, shall we?
Yep. Yes, we shall. We have. By the way, we are already way a good amount past the 1 hour mark. So just letting you
All
know.
right. I'm gonna keep this I'll try to go quick. Uh Scheduled for this show was Alex Shelley, the remix champion, and he was supposed to face Jake Christ in a champion versus champion match. Jake Christ is the world champion. Alex Shelley had a calf injury and was not able to be there. Ali Catch and JT Dunn were supposed to face Jessica and Sammy Callahan. Ali Catch had flight issues. Myron Reed was supposed to face Jake something, but he Jake something got put in the scramble match, and Myron Reed tagged with Zach Wentz. for the Rascals because Trey Miguel, for some reason, was not there. That was never spoken about, I don't think. Um, the show started off hot with Jake Christ putting his title on the line against Gringo Loco. Gringo Loco, his big story since coming to PW Revolver is wanting a match with John Moxley. And I think that's happening on January 25th, finally. This match started off hot right off the bat. They were at where they were outside. Someone got a door. There was a power bomb through a door. Um, Jake Christ did like a instead of like a Spanish fly, he did like a reverse Spanish fly. So they were both coming down face first, and with Gringo taking the majority of the bump.
Yeah.
Um, there was a Gringo Loco set up a door in between two chairs and laid Chris on it and did a twisting moonsault, but Chris moved out of the way, and that was unfortunate for Gringo Loco. Um, the end came when they were both on the top rope, and Jake Christ hit like a double arm DDT destroyer, and Gringo Loco kicked out, but Christ used a backslide for the win, and commentary did mention that Christ has used the backslide numerous times to retain this title. I thought it was a hot start. I thought it was a great match, a great indie match. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
the next match was the Grizzled Young Veterans
Yeah.
against the Rascals. The storyline here was that the Grizzled Young Vets had defeated all of Europe and they were back in the States and they were kind of blaming the Rascals for taking their momentum
Yeah.
in NXT.
That's
Um,
pretty cool that they actually like followed up a story from WWE and brought it into the indies. Like that's I actually got to say like good on them.
yeah, this match, like the first match, it was high energy.
Yeah.
Um, Grizzled Young Veterans had impeccable tandem offense that was just so consistent throughout this match.
Yeah. I
Uh,
loved it.
I've um, I feel like the pairing of Reed and Wentz was not as good as Miguel and Wentz or even Miguel
Yeah,
and
it
Reed.
something
And
just
I
felt
and
so
I chalk
off.
it
Yeah.
I, I chalk it up to just not enough time together as tag partners.
Yeah.
Um, like when Wentz and Lee went to NXT, Miguel kind of took Reed as a rascal partner. So Miguel had already established um, chemistry with Wentz and Reed, but I don't know how often Myron Reed and Zachary Wentz have tagged together. But yeah, Grizzled Young Vets won with like I forget what they called the move, but it was
Grit
basically
your
a
teeth,
double code grit your teeth. It was a double code breaker.
pretty much.
I really, really like that match. The third
Yeah.
match was Killer Kelly versus Emi Sakura. And I know that Killer Kelly is the women's champion. I don't know if this was for the title.
I don't think
Um,
so.
this match, Sakura not only had to face Killer Kelly, but also Ricky Shane Page, who interfered countless times. At one point, Kelly stole the ref's glasses and he got
Yeah.
away with more. But honestly, before that spot, there were many times the ref could have ejected him. Sakura got some good offense in, but the Red Queen won in an entertaining but not as strong match as I expected.
Yeah.
Um, the next match was Masaki Mochizuki of Dragon Gate fame. He's kind of like in the Puro Legend status now, like Suzuki, Akiyama, and Kojima, where yeah, he's from Dragon Gate, but if you see him in Noah or you see him in All Japan or wherever the fuck else, it's okay. Like I don't know. I think in Japan, once you hit a certain age, your contract is like, okay,
Just
you
do
could
whatever
do
the
whatever
fuck
you
you
want.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like we're paying you to be at our stuff, but you go do your thing. Um, Bailey has been putting on bangers all year everywhere he's wrestled, and it's no surprise this wouldn't be any different. Mochizuki is a pure veteran making his name in Dragon Gate and has been wrestling since Bailey was 4 years old. There was lots of strikes until Mochizuki decided to make it a ground game and really work the legs of Bailey. Bailey kicked out of the Brainbuster, Mochizuki kicked out of the Ultima Weapon, and the last segment of the match, they really beat the hell out of each other, and it reminded me of that Nomura and Abe match. Like very battle art style, very shoot style. And I swear to God, they were beating the shit out of each other. And then all of a sudden, Mochizuki hit the turnbuckle and connected a triangle kick and defeated Bailey. Um, it was fucking awesome.
Yep.
Um, the next match on this show was the Golden Ticket Scramble match, which whoever wins would have a title opportunity of their choice whenever and however they wanted. This had Jake something against Ace Austin, against Alan Angels, against the Monster Hunter Matthew Waller, who I have never seen anywhere else other than PW Revolver, and I love his fucking gimmick. I don't even know if I understand it completely, but the guy
I don't know. Maybe
looks awesome, and
I think we
I
have to
don't know.
play. I think we both have to like play the game Monster Hunter to understand the gimmick a little bit better. I don't know.
Well, I think his gimmick was like he's like a smaller guy, but he went after bigger guys, and he has like those potions that he
Oh
drinks,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they
That's weird.
give him different
By the way,
powers.
okay, we got it.
Uh,
Real. Okay,
Also,
good.
there were three members of a group called Alpha Sigma Sigma. I didn't really get their individual names. Go ahead.
No. Finish talking about the match and I'll say it.
Okay. Alpha Sigma Sigma, while being the greenest of the competition, offered a good load of entertainment. They had a paddle, which came into play to their chagrin. Jake Something is a beast, and I really want to see him face Daisuke Sakimoto from Big Japan. Angels in Austin are always great to watch. Matthew Palmer, who I've only seen in Revolver, is super cool. He's called the Monster Hunter, dresses like a Victorian era mad scientist or something, and drinks potions that give him different powers. He drank his
Yeah,
potion and whooped on Angels while he had Angels in a Scorpion Deathlock. Ace Austin did his off the middle of the rope kick to him in the face and then hit the fold for the win. Afterward, Palmer beat Austin down, and I believe one of the Alpha Sigma Sigma boys. This is what you'd expect of a scramble. Quite entertaining.
yeah. No, what I wanted to say is that before that there was like a brief intermission and there was a really fun match between the aforementioned Monster Hunter. What is it? Matthew Waller? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Matthew
Yep.
Waller and Cobra Kai's fame. Uh, what's shit? What's his name? Paul Walter Hausen, I believe. He plays Stingray in Cobra Kai, and this was I enjoyed this match quite a bit. It was a lot of fun, and even he even got to do the put on the little headband and do the crane. That was fun. I liked it a lot, and
Yeah.
he actually
That
did win
was
that.
from last month's PW Revolver Unreal. That
Oh,
was a really
okay.
good show too.
Oh, okay, they
That's
just
why
replayed it.
also, that's another reason why I wanted to cover season finale because I watched Unreal and I was into it. Um,
Yeah, that was a good match though.
the next the next match was Brian Keith versus Ortiz, the new
I
Texas
love
Pro
this one.
champion who has held the title for like 3 years, facing off against an AEW star. This wasn't Keith's first brush with AEW, as he
Yeah,
had wrestled twice on Rampage and got a shout out by Danielson during a media scrum, which has led to Keith calling out Danielson. For now, Keith must wait as he had to deal with a former Team Pazuzu LAX and Inner Circle member. Um, this was a good back and forth match. I felt they had good chemistry. The end came when Ortiz got out of a double underhook power bomb and hit a fisherman buster for the win. Um, the penultimate match was JT Dunn and Alley Catch of the unit against Sammy and Jessica. Dunn came out with his boy Phil, I guess, who's the manager, and said Alley had flight troubles and his fiance, who's supposed to have his back, isn't there, but he will deal with her when he gets home. Phil got a replacement, and it's the newest member of the unit, Damian Chambers. Sammy knew Dunn would mess this moment up, so he brought Havoc instead of Jessica. This was the usual Callahan stuff with Legos and weaponry. Sammy and Havoc win, and Dunn fires Phil and Damian Chambers, leaving the unit up up in the air for 2024. The main event saw the tag team titles defended, which I believe are trios titles. Like that's just
Yeah.
their tag team. Uh, Rich's Equal Death members, Ricky Shane Page, Alex Colon, and Steve Macklin against SGC of Manders, Mance Warner, and Matthew Justice. At Revolver Unreal the month prior, um, there was a Haas match, like a multiple man Haas match. Macklin had beat Manders and kind of egged him on and showed him that he had the tag titles. So this must have been a story that had been developing for quite some time in Revolver. There were weapons, scaffolds, dives. Oh my. Exactly what you would expect if you've ever watched a Ricky Shane Page or SGC or Alex Colon match. Um, I'm familiar with these guys because three of them still work for GCW. I think Cologne does as well. I'm not sure. Ricky hasn't been there in a long time, but that's where I saw these guys originally. RED won when Killer Kelly proposed to Manders in the middle of the ring, which Macklin took advantage of and low blowed Manders from behind and then hit the killed in action to secure Red's retention of the tag belts. As I said, I had watched Unreal last month, and that's why I wanted to watch season finale. I feel if you took away the main event of Unreal because it ended messed up with Athena and Billy against Marina and Ronda, Unreal was probably the better overall show of the two. Um, but that's not to say I did not enjoy this show. Uh, for for an indie show, I would give this a solid, probably B plus as well. Um, if you would, my match recommendations for the show would be Mochizuki against Mike Bailey, Grizzled Young Veterans against
The Rascals,
the
basically.
Rascals, and probably Brian Keith against Ortiz. Um,
Those would be mine
but
too.
these Jay Christ and Gringo Loco was really good, and the last two matches were good. Like I said, Kelly and Emi Sakura was entertaining. It wasn't like a strong match that I expected, but it was entertaining at least. The scramble match is exactly what you would expect from a scramble. So if you like scramble matches, you would like this one. Um, but yeah, uh, I'd give it a B or B plus.
Yeah,
Uh,
same.
and and those are my match recommendations. Now, on to the schedule. Did you pin that message?
No, I don't think I pinned that one. I pinned
Let
something else.
flicker. Okay. So, Armbar Audio's upcoming schedule God, we talk too much. No, I'm just kidding. Um, so Final Battle. We'll be covering Final Battle in AEW on the 16th. We will be covering the Stardom Queendom show in World's End by AEW on January 2nd. We will be covering the Tokyo Joshi Pro Big Show from the 4th and Wrestle Kingdom on January 7th. And we will be covering Impact's Hard to Kill on the 14th.
Also,
So,
real quick, I guess I'll let everybody know. 16th is AEW Collision. It is in Garland, Texas, and your boy's gonna be there live. So that's gonna be
yes.
fun.
And
So
if
yeah,
and if they have card blades on sale,
yeah, yeah. Y'all seem to care a lot more about those card blades than me. So yeah, cool. Appreciate that. Okay, I see how it is, man.
no,
I
I'm
see.
very
I
happy
know.
that
I
you're
know.
gonna go to this show, but I
Oh yeah,
I
that's
I want
great.
a
But hey,
fucking
get the
card
card
blade.
blades. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, but make sure you get the card blades.
Could you imagine if we were doing a show and card blade was right next to me, bro?
Yeah, no, I see it, but no, I feel you. I'm just giving you a hard time, but that's it. It's okay. If I find it, it'll be my early Christmas gift to you. So
Oh, shut up, you cheap bastard! You're not getting me a Christmas gift.
that's your Christmas gift.
I'm paying you for it.
I'll still buy. Okay, fine. All right. I mean, that's how you want to be. That's cool. See, you
Paying
didn't have
for
to
it and the
see
shipping.
you didn't have to say that on live recording. I'm just saying I'm getting it for you, and
Well, I mean, if you go lie on live recording, I'm gonna call your ass out.
okay. Well, okay. Yes, I am a cheap bastard. I'm not getting you shit. See, that's what you get for calling me out. In the words of Brock Lesnar,
Sid,
you don't deserve shit, pal.
Sid, you've already given me so much, especially this year. If it wasn't for you,
Oh,
Armbar Audio would be dead. So,
oh, thank you. You've given me
thank you.
a podcast that I can also say that I have now, so I appreciate that. Well, it's all because
Yeah,
of our boy John up there.
I'm son of a bitch.
Big
That
motherfucker.
big son of a big motherfucker. The funny, the funny thing is that we always called him that, and then we were pallbearers, and like we were just
Yeah.
trying so hard, and we were like, "Big motherfucker," and
I
I'm sure he was watching us
probably
cracking
crack
up,
it up.
like,
He's
"Yeah,
like
motherfucker."
you bastards. Want to call me fat?
Now you, right, right.
Anyway.
Oh man. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and peace and love to all of you. Bye.